Okay, I'm going to be honest, man. I don't know if there's been this much negativity or this much hostility all season long. I mean, good God. I've seen some crazy takes on Twitter, and I don't. I relax.
I want some rest. Are we having fun yet?
All right, so I didn't really have the energy to go live today. I was like, it's just too much hostility. Now, people that's on this channel usually are pretty chill. Most of you guys are pretty chill, but I just didn't feel like it. So I said, screw it. Let's just talk about the game as a whole. We'll go over every single individual player, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts about the game as a whole. In this tweet right here, it was quite a few people hitting me up being pretty quite rude, like really angry with me for no reason whatsoever, I think. But yeah, so before we do that, if you guys want to support the channel, there's plenty of ways to do so. But one way is go over to clanthemerchfan.com. I caught up on most orders that were ordered around Christmas. So check your emails for that. You should have got a tracking number. And I think I have a couple more that I'm catching up on because we just got a new order, I think yesterday or 2 days ago. So still catching up on those. But if you guys want to support, please do, man. Link in the description. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at a few things. So I think that this kind of sums up my thoughts as a whole of this game. A ton of shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Wemby could have taken LeVert. Mismatch. Keldon should have cut to the corner, which is just cutting to the open spot. And if you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about, okay? I know this just sounds like nonsense if you didn't watch the game. Sohan should have made a higher pass. Keldon should have ran in transition, and that's at the end of the game, which he was just kind of standing there. Would it have made that much of a difference? Probably not, but yeah, he still should have. Kind of assumed the game was over there. And the Spurs could have called a timeout. So I'll just go over this really quick. Some of the, I don't want to say backlash because I don't want to make it seem like it's like a lot of hate towards my way or anything like that. Not really, but it was a few of these where I'm like, oh my God, like, chill out. So first and foremost, Wemby. So the reason why I say he could have taken LeVert in the mismatch is because I'm saying he could have done that, but not necessarily saying that the pass to Sohan was the wrong read. Okay, it wasn't. It was a fine read. And what's funny about it is what I've heard a lot of people say is, well, here's one person in particular. Wemby could have taken LeVert mismatch. It's not as if Allen on Wemby too. So what I find funny about this, because this isn't the only person saying, I'm not just calling this person out because there's a lot of people that said this. But the funny thing about that is people are bringing up the fact that Allen was lurking on that play, which is true, which I'm saying he could have tried LeVert, but he made a good pass as well. But then we'll say in the same sentence that Sohan should have taken the shot. And if you go back and you watch it, Allen was lurking there too. So I'm a little confused by that. I've seen some people say that he just did Ben Simmons, and it's like, no, that was not the same at all. So I think that's kind of strange. I think that's out of proportion a little bit. Keldon should have cut to the corner. I don't think that there's any ands, ifs, or buts about this. I think everyone should agree on that he should have went to the open space. That would have made it an easy pass, whether it been Wemby or Sohan making that pass to him. You got to go to the open space. He didn't. He was kind of set on, I'm going to shoot at this wing regardless. But he should have went to the open space. It would have been an easier pass. Sohan, he made a tough pass, but it was not a good pass. It was low, maybe too far to the right. Not the perfect pass. Keldon could have got it, but it was a bullet, right? So right read, just bad pass. And then Keldon should have ran transition. Yeah, we can kind of debate that if you guys felt like the game was over already. And then the Spurs should have called a timeout. And what I mean by that is a lot of people say Popovich should have called timeout, which is true, sure. But where he was at and where he was angled, I don't know if he could tell that we had the position enough. Like when we're watching the game, when we're on our couches, we can see the entire court. But where he was positioned versus where the ref was next to Pop, he was nowhere near him. It probably would have been pretty difficult to make that timeout. So when I say the Spurs, yes, we can say Popovich. I'm fine with that. But I also think it could have been Trey Jones. It could have been Keldon. It could have been Sohan. Any person on our team could have made or called that timeout there. And I think that was a missed opportunity. You had the timeout. Somebody needed to call the timeout. And oftentimes in those situations, players will call the timeout. So Just unfortunate all the way around. But I feel like what really creeped up on us during this entire game was experience. That's what really got to us there. So, but yeah, what the heck is this? Are you paid to be on your knees for Sohan like that? By the way, he's not the only one. There was someone else, and he recently deleted his reply saying that I don't criticize Sohan, or wow, I can't believe you didn't say one thing about Sohan, even though in the tweet I criticize Sohan. I don't know. Very strange behavior. And I'm unfortunately, I'm disappointed in you, Ruru. Can you stop this? Stop it, Ruru. Stop it. The consolation you giving yourself because you don't want to call out Sohan to just take the shot because had it been KJ making that errant pass, okay. We getting a 20-minute video on how bad that pass play was and how he should get the 2, not look for 3. Shaking my head. I don't know what you're talking about. If Keldon Johnson the problem with Keldon Johnson is the opposite. He takes too many contested shots in the paint. Don't know what you mean by that. If he would have made that pass, I would have been fine and said that's the right read. But I would have still said what I said in this tweet, and that is Sohan made a bad pass. It was a right read, bad pass. That's what I would have said if Keldon made the exact same pass. Bad pass, good read. Don't know what you mean by that. Also, I'm getting tired of anybody comparing certain players when it comes to Keldon versus Sohan. Okay, Sohan's in his second year. And I've always said this. I've been very adamant about this. Before we look into each player individually, I've been very adamant about this. This is my rule of thumb. I'm not going to go full in on trade this player. This player is absolute garbage, if they're in their first or second year. I give players at least about 4 years. And once you get into that 4th, 5th, then I think the criticism can start amping up a little bit, which Keldon is in his 5th year, I believe. Yeah, he's in his 5th. Yeah, he's in his 5th year. So yeah, I don't know. That's just my take on it. So, but I didn't even really go full in on Keldon either. Not one single person ruined or lost this game for us. Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into this. So each player individually. Julian Champagnie. It always seems like every single game I don't have much to say about him. Is because he just is who he is, right? He's a perimeter threat. And then defensively, he plays fine. He's a decent defender. I would say maybe he's our 4th, 5th best defender. 4th might be pretty crazy. 4th, 5th, 4th or 5th. No, actually, I would say 4th or 5th. I think we can say that 4th or 5th best defender. He's fine. Sohan, I thought overall he had a really good game. Not only shooting wise, went 2 for 3 from 3. That's good. But he just does what he does, right? 11 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He had a really nice pass to Wemby early on, which I guess all those narratives about him hating Wemby is gone finally. But he had a really nice lob to Wemby early that resulted in a foul. And I think I talked to Swish Hill about this. I believe that when Sohan averages at least 5 assists, we win. I think that's the stat. I could be wrong, but I think that's the stat. And as you see in this game, he averaged 4 assists. So 1 more assist. That pass to Keldon at the end, that's a W. But yeah, just messed up a little bit. Wembanyama. So this was not one of his most impressive games, which is crazy because he had 5 blocks, a steal, and 24 points. And this was one in a double-double. And this was one of his bad games. I guess kind of is one of his bad games, but overall he did fine. I one thing that I really admire about Wemby, and this is just how it is with great players and superstar talent, is he's going to find a way to affect the game no matter what. So even if I wouldn't say this is a shooting slump, but I mean he's guarded by Allen. That's a tough matchup, and even so, he still managed to put something together that was pretty impressive. So. He found ways to impact the game, and at the end of the game, it was huge. I think once he's off minutes restriction, it's going to help a ton. I mean, I'll just be real with you. I don't want to be fully reliant on Wemby because, I just don't want to put too much. I mean, I know he's the guy, he's our guy, right? But I would want him to be able to come out of the game. And right now, unfortunately, when he comes out of the game, we have no one, absolutely no one that can guard the paint. The best thing that we got right now is Sohan and Don Barlow, and those guys aren't centers. So it's really unfortunate. Trey Jones, I thought Trey Jones played really well in this game. Now, funny enough, I wanted to bring this up too. This was another thing that I talked to my friend Swish about. So with Trey Jones, I saw quite a few people tweeting that, now that Trey Jones is starting, our offense looks so much better. And Swish brought up a really good point, because this entire time I've been saying Trey Jones coming off the bench, he's not going to look as impressive as he will if he's starting, because when he's starting, he's surrounded around talent. That's just how I saw it, like just really better players. Obviously, Wemby opens things up for him. You have the threat with Devin Vassell, and he can get those, easy layups, those floaters, and you can see that he was hard on himself on that last game because he hit both his threes in this one. But with that being said, one thing that he brought up was the fact that, well, the offense also looks smoother because you have multiple people that are playmakers. Devin Vassell is a good passer. Don't let the assist fool you, okay? I know it's just 2, but he is a good passer. Wemby is a good passer. Wemby on occasion can be like, what the heck? What was that, Wemby? But he's a really good passer. Sohan's a good passer. He's a great connector, I would say. So when you have 4 guys on the court at the same time that can pass the ball and play make to their degree, I think that's huge. And I just don't like the narrativization of saying Trey Jones started, it fixed everything. We're still losing. I know somebody, won't just call him out, but I saw somebody tweet out something along the lines of Trey Jones is really finding Devin Vassell out there. And at that point in the game, Trey Jones he got it to Devin Vassell for 1 assist, and Champagnie got him the ball for 1 assist. He wasn't continuously finding Devin Vassell. It's just narrativizing, right? Because everyone's been praising or pleading for Trey Jones to start, which I understand why, but at the same time, it's like that we're not watching the same games. Okay, that's not what's going on. But yeah, just overall though, Trey Jones played a good game, and being out there with Wemby and Devin Vassell really opens things up for him. Sohan's constantly finding the open space, so that makes it easier for him too. Just overall, I was really impressed by our starters. And Champagnie, while he's more of a end of the bench type of guy in the long scheme of things, if the Spurs were to keep him starting, he's doing a fine job. He's doing okay. The fact that he doesn't give up too much defensively, and then the fact that he is a threat and they can't just leave him open, it helps. It helps. That's the best thing we got right now, unfortunately, when it comes to that type of role, that 3-and-D role. Now on the bench, Barlow did fine. I kind of discussion with someone, which I'm like, oh my God, we just say anything nowadays. Saying that, well, because I said that we're missing Zach Collins, and obviously we are, right? Every single time that Wemby's off the court, like, it's very easy rebounds, very easy finishing at the rim. It's ridiculous. And someone brought up, well, Barlow is playing better than Collins. He's not. And I love Don Barlow. Don't get me wrong. 2 things can be true at the same time. Don Barlow can be a really good player or playing really well for his age and everything. And also Zach Collins be better. Those 2 things can be like, they're not mutually exclusive. Okay. It's fine. But with that being said, yeah, a lot of people, I mean, not a lot of people, but that person I was talking to, I just don't really know what you're talking about. Zach Collins is averaging more points, more rebounds, more blocks. Defensive field goal percentage is 50, just like Barlow. I don't know what it's just. I don't know. It's this running inside joke that I have with a few people where it's like, oh, he just didn't put forth the effort, right? He just didn't try hard enough. And that's kind of what it comes down to. Like, a lot of people just kind of bring that up. Like, he just wanted it more. This player just wants it more. And it's like, well, I mean, you can say Don Barlow's bringing more effort than Collins, but I don't know it's just vibes check. You're just basing off of vibes at that point. Anyways, moving on. Osman, oh my God. Can I rant a little bit? I won't rant too long. Osman, good God. Okay, so like I said, I have a rule, okay? If it's your first, second year, third year, I'm chilling. I'm not going to be like super mean. Osman's a veteran, and he's never been a great perimeter defender. But this game in particular, my guy, it was awful. I mean, it was awful. He was double teaming where he shouldn't have. He was leaving LeVert wide open when he was killing us. I don't know what the heck was going on with that. Just stick to your man. It wasn't even like, oh, he's getting crossed over. It's like, no, it was off-ball defense where he's just kind of lurking and he's late on closeouts. It was terrible. Now, he made some really good shots in this game. Ideally, that's what he's out there for. But overall, man, it was terrible. His defense is just terrible. It does not make up for that defense. I guess the question at that point, because I did rant a little bit on Twitter, just a little bit. I guess the question then is, well, who do you play instead of him? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe Blake Wesley, but Blake Wesley was out there with them too. We don't have anybody. That's kind of the issue right now too. It's like we don't really have anybody to play in replacement of him. It's not like Graham comes in and he just locks everything down. Like, no. So we're just kind of stuck. I was just more irritated than anything. I don't know. Extend Sohan's minutes. I don't know. Someone's minutes need to be extended. Somebody. Anybody but Osman. It was so bad. Anyways, Keldon Johnson. I'm starting to lose any bad thing to say about Keldon because I'm just like a broken record at this point. Keldon is who he is. There's no change in that. He's the type of player that's going to make up his mind before he does anything. It doesn't really matter who's in the paint. And that's kind of unfortunate. Like Thompson was in the paint. He went after him. Jared Allen was in the paint. He went after him. He got to the paint and then there was help defense. He still attempted to shoot it. Not great shots, but because of his athleticism, because of his size, because of his strength, he can get away with it. But I'll just be honest and being real and saying that that's not ideal, like winning basketball. But as the big scheme of things, he wasn't god awful. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't the sole reason we lost this game or nothing like that. Okay. So I'm not going to sit here and just harp on it, but Keldon is who he is. And it was a lot of that. It was a lot of, I'm going at you regardless of who's in the paint or not. And that's unfortunate. It bothers me, but this is just the type of player he is. I really do think that if Keldon Johnson was either on a team or just with us in the future, once we have a little bit more talent, a little bit more go-tos, he'll be much better as that role player. But I think right now with him coming off the bench, we don't have a ton of options. It's not like when he came off the bench that I had so much faith that anyone would make a shot. Not Osman, not Malachi Branham coming off an injury. Nobody. I only Keldon really. So I think that's kind of how he took it upon. So while it wasn't the best of plays that he attempted to take or best of shots he attempted to take, it might have been one of our only options. Malachi Branham, defense is terrible. We always knew his defense was terrible. It wasn't good. Wasn't great. But at the same time, I don't know. Coming off an injury, I'm not going to trip about it too much. And then Blake Wesley, I really liked what I saw from him. He had a couple bad plays where I'm like, oh, okay, that's the old Blake creeping up a little bit. But he is so fast. He's more poised than he was previously, and his defense is decent. I was actually, if you want me to criticize Pop a little bit, I was actually quite upset that Blake Wesley wasn't guarding the best player when he was out there. Like oftentimes he was just guarding a shooter in the corner or something. And it's like, we're not really getting the most utility out of, Blake Wesley, especially what we've been seeing like over the past couple weeks is that Blake Wesley is a really good defender when you give him the opportunity. So I was pretty upset about that. But overall, like I said, I told you about how I felt at the end of the game. A lot of mistakes, but it comes down to experience. And I hate to keep using that, but that's what it comes down to, okay? But I will say this, okay? Donovan Mitchell, he was guarded by, actually, let me see. If this doesn't come up, if it doesn't work, I'll admit that I was wrong. Or not that I'm wrong, but if that is just not, it's not something we can check up on right now. But Jeremy Sohan played really well on Donovan Mitchell. Let me see if it's up yet. I was actually waiting. Oh, probably need to do matchups, right? Yeah, head to head, defense. Let's see. We'll just search. Control find. We'll do Mitchell. It's not up yet. Okay. Unfortunately, it's not up yet. Sorry. Yeah, I wanted to show. Wait, well, hold on. Actually, it might be. There's a lot of players here. All right, let's see here. Let's try this. Okay, that's Mitchell Robinson. These are only like 14. He's not gonna be on this list. Okay. Yeah, but all I was gonna say was I thought Jeremy Sohan. Okay, yeah, it's not up yet. I thought Jeremy Sohan did a very good job on Donovan Mitchell. That's a really tough matchup. Went 1 for 10. I want to. It's like one of those things where this is how it is, okay? I feel like a lot of people just have vibes when it comes to their opinions on things. Oh, I just feel like this player is playing harder. I just feel like this player is better. I just feel like they did a good job in this area. I just feel like they're trash and they're not doing well. Well, I have my vibes too. And then I usually try to back it up with, actual stats or what happened. And honestly, my vibe from this game, and I can't really back it up until I actually, go and look, but every time I saw Jeremy Sohan guarding Donovan Mitchell, he made it really tough on him. Now, I guarantee you he wasn't on him for the entire 1 for 10. Okay, I highly doubt that. But he did do a phenomenal job, and holding him to 17 points is insane. Very impressive. Actually, we can even go back and look at Donovan Mitchell's previous games. I think his last 2 were blowouts, so those might not matter as much to you. Let's see. Yeah, so this month, 26 points, 22 points, 26 points, and I think these 2 were blowouts. Yeah, they were blowouts. And then prior to that, 37 points against Milwaukee, 34 points against Milwaukee, 37 points against Houston, in which against Houston, that would have been going against Dylan Brooks if he was healthy. He was healthy. It was one of those games he didn't play. But yeah, so really impressive from Jeremy Sohan. So I will give him that. But yeah, at the end of the game, it was a lot of mishaps that kind of bothered me. But man, so many Spurs fans being so negative, so hostile. It was insane. But hey, tis what it is. Overall, I know this might be something that no one wants to hear, but it is considered a good loss. Now, if you lose by 40, you lose by 30, it's not a ton that you can take out of those games. Let's just be real. But this one in particular, no, I think that there's a lot that the Spurs can take out of it. And unfortunately, with Wemby on minutes restriction, and we don't have any depth right now. I mean, I'm not trying to talk trash about these players or nothing, but Wesley's young. Branham's young. Barlow's young, and he's playing out of position. Osman, defense is terrible. And then Keldon Johnson just has to lead this entire unit. It's tough. It's tough. And it's tough. We could have won, sure. Should we have won? Sure, maybe questionable. But I don't know. It's tough. It's a lot that we have to put on the shoulders of our starters right now. So hopefully Collins is back soon. Hopefully. I forgot how long it is. I think it's 2 weeks. You guys can let me know. Let me know in the comments. I won't look it up right now. Don't have the energy for it. But yeah, just let me know what you thought about this game, how you felt about it, and yeah, that's all I got. I'll give it to you guys later, man. Until next time, bye.